come and catch me on the court. I'ma have to slit the throat. I'm just getting started, yeah, you know you listening to a goat. We've been building off the trenches, I'm about to have a moat. Come and catch me in the water, come and get another boat. Yeah, I'm shooting for the head, you just do not get the scope. Getting out of line, yeah, we call that walking on a rope. Me and Mark on the mic, yeah, we on a fucking road. I'm a robot on the beat, I ain't have to sell my soul. Raining dirty money, when it rains, you know that it pours. Try to catch me lacking, but you know I always got the pole. I might have to pull the trigger, then it's ready to reload. I won't die without a fight, that's just how this thing go. Come and find me on the block, we be ballin' like some pros. I've been going for the money, I ain't going for a hoe.
Yeah, yeah.
Harder than the greatest ever known.
Yeah, the greatest.
Catch me on the mic and I'll explode. Tell me that I really do the most.
No, I don't.
But I ain't done enough, I'm about to
Think
go.
I'm the greatest and it made me famous. They label me as underrated and I'm never changing. I'm rocking with my Bossy clique, that's the gang I'm claiming. I'm the goat up in this shit, bitch, I'm done explaining. Whoa. You niggas mad that I'm up now. I used to take the bus, now the jewelry getting bust down. I'ma reach my goals, it's on my soul, nigga, touchdown. Don't make me get it jumping like a circus, I don't trust clowns. I'm yelling what now? These bitches used to never give a fuck, but wanna fuck now. Best of luck now. Get up in the ring against the king and you get shut down. Ain't even lasting one round. Wow. This dream chaser making mean paper. Chasing mills like Meek since a teenager. Tunnel vision, I don't see haters. All the doubters motivate me, guess I need haters. Battles.
I'm a goat.
Yeah, yeah.
Harder than the greatest ever known.
Yeah, the greatest.
Catch me on the mic and I'll explode. Tell me that I really do the most.
No, I don't.
But I ain't done enough, I'm about to go.
Well, I'm not fucking with none of these niggas playing a scheme game. Don't get it twisted when you see me playing the weed lane. My Euro step is 7 a foot, freak the freak insane. When you coming up to keep it real, nigga, that's a cheap exchange. They playing dirty, only the fake can't condone. Only the fake. Well, I got a bag and I caught some peace for the moment. A little bit of peace. Don't ever cross me, that hate be killing me soft. It's killing me soft. Harder to get off me, must be something in your coffee. Watch out. Battle me and put your career on the line. Uh-oh. Gold on my quotes, curated for the times. Subinated the finesse. That's right. This was built by your design. Let's go. Everything you are, nigga, I'm a million things combined. Yeah. Fuck you niggas that's half-stepping, you cash crooks. Yeah, you grinding, but you overlooking them bad looks. Goated, can't skip steps when I'm floating. Rhymes mentally exploding. Came a long way from them roaches. I'm a goat.
Yeah, yeah.
Harder than the greatest ever known.
Yeah, the greatest.
Catch me on the mic and I'll explode. Tell me that I really do the most.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
But I
just
ain't done
juice.
enough,
Bitch on
I'm
the go.
about to
Yo, bitty wet as a moat. No singing, I swim, better float. One of the greats pushing lyrics like dope. You thought of my DMC back for the clout. Muhammad Ali, I'm the king of the ropes. Michael Jordan, I've been ballin' for show. Trust shoes, winning all battles. Young and I'm rich, burning Cubans, no cattle. Yeah, much love. Wanna turn on my run it up. Dirty bands, keep us warm till the sun is up. I've been burning hella hot, now I'm coming up. Bro, the doja bottle popping. I wet it, my money falling from the sky like the comment of just choose. I'm the truth, ain't no cap. It made a midi off a dream called rapping. Pen to paper, and history happened.
I don't know what he said, but he killed it.
I just want you to know you can accomplish any task, no matter where you come from, no matter how difficult it may seem. You the GOAT.
I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I stopped dreaming and started living. Whole lot of fake people around me, they picking sides like a politician. I be living with a vacation, but I can never get complacent. Phone buzzing like day and night, but I'm working while they out getting faded. That ain't me, cause I move different. 100 amps is my new mission. Trying to take me out of my ways, but I can't slow down, I'm too driven. Got inspiration from my potential, gotta take it to another level. Ayy, got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. Ayy, I put in my 10,000 hours, smell the scent of my own flowers. Don't underestimate your own power. In Miami, everything is sweet, but the lifestyle turn your soul sour. Graduated with 2 degrees, but I chose the beats I'm gon' devour. Talk is cheap and they say a lot. 100 feet is my favorite yacht. They be flexing on Instagram, they show a life they ain't really got. I be better inside my crib with my feet up, playing Call of Duty. Won't let them confuse me. Got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I got my people depending on me, I cannot blow this. They see me coming, I'm taking their place, put them on notice. Trying to keep balance, whole lot of weight up on my shoulders. I got temptations all around me, but I'ma stay focused. I've been on top of the world, getting these bands, counting up M's, getting my checks in the mail. 100% saving my bread. I've been on top of the world, making my profit, fly to the tropics. I've been on top of the world. I've been on top of I've been on top of the world, getting these bands, counting up M's, getting my checks in the mail. 100% saving my bread. I've been on top of the world, making my profit, fly to the tropics. I've been on top of the world. I've been on top of the world, yeah. Made a promise not to break a promise like Tom Brady. I'm too accomplished. I've been loyal since day one. I never switched. My crew is solid. I got my feet up in a private villa, playing blackjack, trying to beat the dealer. Need some time for a vacation. Might take a trip out to Anguilla.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday. Holy cow! It feels like it's been forever since I've talked on stream. Probably because it has felt like it's been forever since I've talked on stream. But we're here. We're here. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yes, it's been a minute. I was informed by a viewer yesterday that I needed to stop cosplaying as a golfer and come hang out with my community. So here I am, neglecting my cosplaying responsibilities. No. Last couple Fridays, I've had some tournament action going on. I was in Florida last week. I missed the last 2 Fridays because I was driving to Florida, and then last week I was in Florida. Not too bad. 5th and 7th last weekend. So, not exactly the placement that I wanted to have, but I guess you can't win them all. It was a tough course. For my golf fans out there. We played at PGA National. If you saw on my Instagram, we were playing at PGA National down in Jupiter. First time being at Jupiter. First time doing PGA National. Fantastic golf course. What I do. If you did not see my Instagram, we'll see if this shows up here. Let's see if we can zoom in so that it shows up well. I'll share it with you here. This is my dashboard from the VGA with my current ranking on it. You can check that out. 2026 ranking, number 1 in the state, right there. Currently rocking number 1 in the state so far after this season. 40th in the region, right there. So feeling pretty good about that. That win at the beginning of the year pushed me pretty high up on points, which was super, super nice to have. That kicking off the season with that good win. We got another tournament this weekend. We're going to be up in Virginia Beach area this weekend. I don't have it. I don't currently have commitments to stay past the tournament on Saturday. But if there happens to be any viewer that's in the Virginia Beach area that wants to have a chat, let me know and we may check something out. Lors, over on the platform that shall not be named, so good to see you over there. I do have some other events coming up where I'm going to be out of town. I'll talk about those a little bit later as people start to roll in. But as always, the people who DM'd me while I was out on Instagram to wish me luck on my tournaments, super hearts to you. I do truly appreciate it. Hit me up on my Instagram if you want to be following that journey. With that being said, this is Friday. Woo! I could do that now because she's still downstairs prepping for her day. I've probably got about 15 to 20 minutes before I got to worry about getting a text message about calming down. So, now's the buffer window where, I don't have to worry about it too much. But it's Friday. We made it to another Friday. If you're new here, thank you so very much for tuning in with us this morning. I do truly appreciate you spending time with us on a Friday. Somebody's probably like, typically when I come to this channel on a co-working stream, Neal's not talking. Yes, this is what we usually do here on Fridays, right? We usually sit down here, we come hang out, we have a good time, wrap up the week. I do have some programming announcements with one net new excitement. So we announced something exciting 2 weeks ago when we had a stream. I got something else new, exciting to talk about today as well. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. If you are an existing viewer who has been here for a while, who has gone through the numerous watch streaks and dealt with the soapboxes, Neal not talking is a relatively new thing. Yes, I know. I know. If you've been here for a while, if you're an existing cyber insecurity narwhal, thank you so very much for continuing to tune in and join us on this wonderful, exciting adventure that we have going on. We are live streaming across multiple platforms. Unfortunately, due to new TOS, I can't explicitly say the other platforms out loud, but I want you to understand I do see you. I do see your comments. Jamie, I see you on that platform. Lors, I see you on that platform. ADHD, I see you on that platform. So good to see everybody this morning. Real quick, just a couple rules. Actually, really, I think we've narrowed it down to basically just one rule, right? Don't be an asshole, right? Don't be an asshole. We keep chat free of any racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior. We have a zero tolerance policy for that here on this channel. So we do ask that you conduct yourself in a civil-ish fashion. What was I going with that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Continue with the rules. We do have moderators in chat. We've got several of our moderators are active today across the platform, so do be respectful of the moderators. We do ask that you, give the moderators their appropriate level of respect and shit in chat. Both are highly acceptable here. Moderators are here to keep chat free of any racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior. They're not here, however, to stifle chat at all. They're here to make sure that chat stays awesome and friendly. We do highly encourage civil discourse. I'm going to say a lot of shit today that you may or may not agree or disagree with. Keep in mind, it is just my opinion after my years of experience in this space. At no point in time should anything I say be taken seriously by any stretch of the imagination. I am an unserious person. With that being said, we do highly encourage you to participate in chat with your fellow cybersecurity professionals. We oftentimes have lots of good discussions going on, sidebar discussions that happen inside of chat, as well as what I talk about here on stream. With that being said, we do continue the conversation over in our Discord. Make sure you hit that exclamation point Discord button to hop on over to Discord and join the chat after the chat. Whenever things wind up here, you can usually catch us out on Discord. There was a great conversation yesterday. In Discord yesterday about corporate politics. It's a challenging topic by any standard. Right. And I encourage you, like the chat will probably go away because it was in general. I think the bottom line of it is that corporate politics can and will be challenging. And depending on the level of leadership you have in an organization and the level of complexity the organization has, it is nigh unavoidable. What am I drinking this morning? I got a nice, lovely chai latte in my black hat mug here. You can kind of see it a little bit there. I make these from scratch-ish. I don't grow the coffee beans myself, but I do grind the coffee beans myself. You can kind of see what you can't. I love making these things, right? So it's coffee, obviously. Fresh ground espresso. I usually do a double shot of espresso. This is how I do it. I definitely double shot the espresso. So when you ask like how caffeinated am I when I come up here, double shot espresso caffeinated in this giant mug. I fresh brew some chai that I get from Rishi, RISHI if you're interested in that type of thing. Fresh brew the chai. And then I'll mix the chai and the espresso, and then I've got a latte maker where I'll froth some milk, put that together, mix it all together, and then I have to put cinnamon on top. I'm a fiend for cinnamon. Blah. I'm a fiend for cinnamon, hands down. Like if like cinnamon rolls. Definitely a vice, right? Churros, definitely a vice. Like, if it's cinnamon, I like cinnamon. Anyway, chai latte with some cinnamon on top. Absolutely my go-to Friday morning drink. As you can see, we encourage high interactivity here on this stream, regardless of the platform that you happen to be on. Do drop your questions into chat. At any point in time, our moderators are awesome. They're watching chat all the time. They're grabbing questions, comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints, whatever the case is, putting them into a queue. And at any point in time, they'll push them up on the screen. We'll answer them in kind. As this is our Friday morning AMA, we usually sit here at the end of the week between all the co-working streams, between all the thematic streams, everything else. And this is your time to sit down and ask me very specific questions about things that are happening in the industry, things that are happening in cybersecurity, things that are happening in the career world, the business world, my golf life, my cancer journey, whatever the case is. I sit here and we just kind of bullshit for a couple hours here in the morning before we get our day started. What's a cinnamon challenge? That's a negative. That's not happening. That's not happening at all. No. I do listen, I'm already one up on Beard. I'm doing the push-ups. If I get Beard to do push-ups on stream, I think that's kind of the next one going on here. Had my first physical pen test last week and I loved it. I'm happy for you, Winter Jolt. Winter Jolt's one of our pen testers. who joins us every Friday to come hang out. I hope you enjoyed it. I love telling my physical pen test stories. I didn't realize that what I was doing was physical pen testing in the military until I was doing it. It wasn't called physical pen testing. It was Op 4. You can kind of see from the banner this side. Which hand is it? This side right here, Op 4. Opposition forces, where we would break into air bases. And I spent a lot of time face down on the ground with M16 pointed at the back of my head. Physical pen testing is super cool. It's an adrenaline rush. I've broken into a lot of interesting places. And here's the thing, like it feels criminal to do it, right? It feels criminal to do it. Like if you like the way that I would do physical pen test. So there was a government lab. There was a government lab in Boston that I was doing a physical pen test against. We'll see who in Boston, may know what I'm talking about here. And they had man traps. They had man traps where they had the turning stalls that you would use to get into the buildings, and they had pressure plates that they had it synced up so that you had to step on the pressure plate, swipe your badge, open the turnstile to get into the building. Well, as I sat in the lobby, right? As I sat in the lobby scoping the place out, I pretended to be on my phone. I pretended to be on a call. You know how it is. Like you walk into a building and you're on a call. You don't want to go through security, so you sit in the lobby and you pretend to be on the call for a while. You ignore people and things like that. And so I did that and I watched, and I noticed that it was all just for show, right? You would swipe the badge and then you would go through the turn gate, or you'd have some people who went to the turn gate and then swipe the badge, or you had some people who would just go through the turn gate, not swipe their badge at all. So I saw that like they weren't mechanically connected. The three of them weren't mechanically connected, right? It was built for speed and efficiency. It wasn't built for actual security. And so I was like, this is how I'm going to get in. And so what I did, I left, and then I waited a couple hours so nobody saw me. I knew that I was going to do it on the lunch break when everybody was coming in from lunch. So as I saw the lunch crowd come back into the building, I decided to tailgate with the lunch crowd. And what I ended up doing was when I got to the turnstile, I had my fake badge. I swiped my fake badge. I pushed myself through the turnstile, and I stepped over the pressure plate going into the building. So I never triggered the pressure plate whatsoever. I did that on purpose because I didn't want to have anybody trip the alarm with the pressure plate. So stepped over the pressure plate, pushed the turnstile, swiped the badge. I managed to get to the elevator, in the elevator, push a button before I heard over my shoulder, hey, that guy didn't badge in. But I was already in the elevator. I was already up on the floor. I was already working on getting my laptop plugged in into the to the network. It was awesome, but it's such an adrenaline rush to do that. Oh yeah, 100%, right? 100%. I am the IT guy. I may or may not have had security forces called out on me when I did a physical pen test for an undisclosed military location. True story. I've pretended to be a protester and was able to breach open. We were protesting. We were protesting a base for a security forces test. And we had 50 people out there. We were all shaking the fence, right? Security forces were on the other side of it. And I happened to be where and it's those chain link fences, right? With the U-shaped clasp that goes over the pole, if you know what I'm talking about. And so we're all shaking it, chanting, go home, things like that. As they're shaking it, that U-shaped clasp on the pole goes up and comes down off of the pole, and all of a sudden the gate starts to open. And the absolute masochist in me sees the gate open a little bit, and my dumbass takes off running. I absolutely take off running. And I make it, it felt like it couldn't have been 15 to 20 feet. It was, when I stood up, I had obviously made it further than I thought I had. It didn't feel like that far. But all I remember was hearing an ATV coming at me, and then somebody hit me in the back of the head with their rifle, and I was face down on the pavement with a couple of rifles pointed at me, because apparently I was not supposed to run that far as part of the exercise. Fun times. Yes, physical pen testing, tons of fun, loads of fun. Can't say enough good things about it. This is fair. And I think I've talked about this on stream before, right? It's not for everybody. Social engineering is not for everybody. And that's okay. That's truly okay. Like, I know I tell the story, but I tell the story so that you understand that you're not alone. You're not alone in that regard, and that's totally okay. If you've not heard the story, if you have heard the story, this will resonate with you. We're teaching a room full of junior hackers how to do social engineering over the phone, and we got around to one of the guys on my team. And, after everybody had kind of taken their turn and done the pretext and the phone call and everything, and he got around to his turn, and he was like, "I can't do it, Neal." He was like, I can't call up a secretary. I can't call up, one of these old ladies. I can't I can't do this. Like, he was just like, I physically can't see myself lying or taking advantage of some poor unsuspecting human, to do that. And again, I don't think that we didn't fault him for it. He didn't get fired. We didn't chastise him. We were like, "Hey, dude, like, hey, no worries. Like, we get it. It's not for everybody." Keep in mind, he volunteered. He wanted to attempt to do it. So he was there willingly. He wasn't there out of any like corporate bullying or anything like that. It was just like when the rubber met the road, and he saw what it took, and he saw all of us do it. Like, he got to his turn, and he was just like, nope, not for me. And so I say, like, it takes when you do social engineering, as a practice, as a pen tester, as a red teamer, and then you encounter somebody who is, and this dude was smart as fuck. Like, this dude was one of our best pen testers. This dude was amazing with wireless. This dude was amazing with AppSec. He was absolutely amazing. Right? Absolutely amazing. So, like, mad respect for him. But to watch him be physically unable to do a social engineering pen test out of morals and ethics, you realize just how terrible it is, how terrible of a human it is that are scamming these old people, that are running these, like, credit card scam companies and everything like that. Valid question. Do I think that it happens? I have heard stories. I've been part of a lot of organizations. I've been a part of a lot of conversations, right? I've had to consult on, hey, what should a good security awareness program look like? And I did sit in a room with a CIO and a CFO who said we should fire anybody who fails a phishing exercise 3 times in a row. It happened. Not them getting fired, but having to sit in a room and be like, no, that is not the conversation we're having. That is not how you get people to do better. And so there are definitely business folks that don't understand, right? That don't understand that, like, that's not the remediation activity that you think that you want in an organization, for people to be afraid to report phishing out of fear that they're going to get fired, right? So I genuinely, I am sure that it happens in some organizations, because I know I've at least been in the conversation where it's been talked about as a topic. I can tell you that I don't think I know of anybody who is in security seriously, that thinks that people should get fired for failing. I think that we're actually getting, I definitely think we're getting to the point. So this is an interesting segue, and I'll kind of use this as a segue to talk about some upcoming stuff that we've got going on, since we happen to be talking about social engineering and phishing and stuff like that. There's a lot of talk that phishing, security awareness training, phishing training, stuff like that is pretty useless. It's pretty useless. Some of the metrics that have been tracked over the years around phishing, so things like click-through rates. If anybody's new to this metric, let me share this metric with you, right? Click-through rates. You send 100 phishing messages, right? Most metrics are how many messages did you send, how many made it to the inbox, how many of those that make it to the inbox got opened, and then of those that got opened, how many clicked, and then if there was a call to action or something else that happened on the other side of it, how many of them fell through the whole hook, right? So you're measuring click-through rates, right? Click-through rates, so that you're seeing of how many fishes came through, how many made it all, end to end to completion, right? And I can tell you, I've been in this industry long enough, and those of you who have been in this industry for a minute, I can tell you there was a belief that you could get to 0% click-through rate. Let that marinate for a second. There are definitively people who thought that metric was a measurable metric, that it was achievable in a company with 300,000 employees, mind you, right? 300,000 employees, that you could get to 0% click-through rate, right? And so, like, there's that was the metric for the long time that people really thought was achievable, right? And so, yes, there were people who were like, well, if we can get 0, then we could punish people who didn't, contribute to that, right? I think that landscape is changing, and I'm not the only one who thinks that landscape is changing. Especially with AI, especially with deep fakes, especially with just the sheer amount of digital surface that the end user has. 0 is never going to happen. Never in a million years. As if there was any possible way that it ever could have happened in the past. Today's day and age, it's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. It'll never happen. Yeah, turn off email. Well, I think there's a funny line, right, where the only secure system is the one without humans, right? So with that being said, I guess now's as good a time as any to talk about a programming announcement, since we are talking about phishing, right? We have secured what I think is going to be one of the most exciting pieces of content that we've had in a really, really, really long time. Jens and Maz and I last week met with a company who is very, very passionate about social engineering. Very, very passionate about social engineering. And this will be a bit lift, right? This will be a bit lift type of thing where they want to come and they want to educate and showcase the things that you've never seen or heard of around phishing, specifically around social engineering, phishing, vishing, smishing, wishing, kishing, crushing, crishing, whatever ishing happens to be in the cyberspace today. They want to come and they want to showcase and educate all of the new TTPs as they're emerging around phishing. And so we're going to have, starting in November, so 1 month from now, we're going to have a new show. We're kind of targeting Wednesday mornings currently, where we're going to talk about the latest and greatest phishing threats that are hitting enterprises and organizations every week. We're going to dive into the technical details. We're going to look at headers. We're going to look at threat intelligence. We're going to talk about payloads. We're going to go deep, right, on phishing TTPs. And so I'm super excited. I'm not going to give the name of the company yet. We'll get the name of the company out as we get closer to show date, right? But yes, excited to bring something very targeted, very specific around phishing to you guys. This is a group of professionals that are freaking smart in their space, and I'm excited to bring that level of intelligence to you. So be on the lookout for that. When November happens, be on the lookout for that to come in. As always, super excited for that as well. Chris says, will the Wednesday show be deeply technical for us nerds, or will this target business owners, prospective customers? Thank you in advance. It'll be the goal. The goal is to be 50 to 60% technical and then 50 to 30% business. Let me say something. It's not prospective customers. It's not prospective customers. We do not do that here, right? We do not do that here. They are not coming on here to hawk their products. We do not do that type of content. Let me say that expressly clear. We do not do that type of content, right? We partner with businesses who are experts in their arena, who are willing to give information over to the community completely and totally without expectation that they're going to sit here and tell you how awesome their product is. We did it with Jeff at Carbon Black, and Jeff was a longtime friend. If you remember the Attack IQ days, we did it with Attack IQ, right? Not once did you hear Attack IQ come on the stream and hawk their product, but we talked a ton about adversary simulation. We talked a ton about, threats that are hitting enterprises and organizations. Words are hard. We talked a ton about how that works, right? So no product pitches. That just doesn't happen here. Where's that Wakanda meme? We don't do that here. We don't do that here. But I do look for businesses, like in full transparency. In full transparency, I do look for businesses who want to come and give back to the community, who have unique skill sets. Insert Liam Neeson meme here. Have a unique set of skill sets that make them a problem, right, in the space. I've got a buddy who works at this company. You've heard me mention his name on stream before. That's as much of a hint as I'll give you. You'll know it when I say it, when I announce the company, when I announce this individual. I've bragged about him here on stream. And so it's as much of hey, I've got a friend who's working at an awesome company, is doing awesome things. I know him and I know the type of caliber of work that they put out. This is going to be kick ass. So I would say it's largely technical. It'll be more technical than it will be business. It's not Jeff. Jeff's at Zscaler. Like, I don't have a whole lot of respect for Zscaler. Don't tell Jeff that. I miss the old man too. I do miss the old man too. Sonic knows how to read between the lines. Sonic knows how to read between the lines. So excited for that. Make sure you do pay attention to the socials. Make sure you do help amplify this, right? So my ask, is always the same, right? Feed the algorithm, please, for me, right? We get businesses who are willing to give back to the community. They do that, because there's a perception that they're going to get something out of it. The perception that they're going to get out of it is that people are going to know their name. So my ask to you is that you at least feed the algorithm around it. Click all the things, like all the things, comment all the things. Help the algorithm out, please. Thoughts on AI not having any boundaries when it comes to crafting malware or exposing vulnerabilities that no one ever thought about before? Great question. Great question. I thought I saw you say in chat that it wasn't against TOS. So I thought you had updated intelligence. That's why you're in my ear. Fuck. Okay. Back to the question on the screen. See, this is why we exist. This is why we exist. Sam Altman has come on interviews and said current AI cannot generate anything net new from scratch. It can't discover anything. So I say that to say, right, his perspective, we talked a little bit about this in Discord, right, was that he thinks that we'll reach a new level of AI or AGI, right, as happening, let's talk about in chat, when AI can discover something that humans haven't discovered yet. So if you take that from one of the greatest creators of AI of our time, arguably, today, malware or AI can't create malware from nothing. AI cannot create malware or expose vulnerabilities that no one ever thought about before. AI has no capability to do so. Right? So if you're reading hype articles about AI capabilities in this space, unequivocally, the man who probably knows the most about AI from a commercial sense, Sam Altman. I'll talk about Expo here in a second, because I've been researching a lot of Expo. I've been watching Expo closely. We're not seeing malware that has never, ever existed being created by AI. Do I think that we will at some point in time? Absolutely. I think it is entirely possible that we will at some point in time. Let's talk about the vulnerability side. And Vandal in chat hit the nail on the head. Let's talk about Expo really quick. Do you have a link for that, Beard, or do you need my link for it, for Expo? I have one. If I can find it. Fucking, I do know that. I'll drop this one into chat. And Beard. This one hit the books recently. So if you're not familiar with Expo, Expo is being touted as the #1 AI, fully AI bug bounty earner out there currently. But it's still not generating anything new. It's not discovering anything new. what it's doing is exactly what I've always told you the expectation of AI should be, right? Which is that it is a massive work efficiency, right? It is a massive work efficiency. All it's doing is it's just accelerating the fuzzing, debugging, validation of known exploits. This one happens to be on SQL injection, right? SQL injection is not new. Dear God, we have seen SQL injection since I've been in cyber for 20 plus years. SQL injection is not new, right? It may be new to you, but it's not new as a threat vector, as a vulnerability from a cybersecurity perspective, right? New knowledge is not the same as new from a TTP perspective, right? Right? And so, it's not exposing anything new from a net new, like never thought about vulnerability perspective. If your perspective on AI is that AI is awesome because it gives you 0-day vulnerabilities that have never been discovered before, that's not it. Right? That's not what AI is doing in the vulnerability management bug bounty space. Right? It is simply taking what it knows about SQL injection, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, I don't know, pretty much all of the OWASP top 10 that have been around for decades, and it's just finding more efficient ways for us to test and validate that those vulnerabilities exist in an application. And arguably, Expo is singularly focused on web technologies because, believe it or not, it is the abundance of attack vectors that exist out there, but it is still singularly and narrowly focused when you think about things like exploit development. To have the Expo for binaries, and I see eCurve in chat. eCurve can help validate this. To have an AI attempt to find ASLR bypass, ROP chains, use after free vulnerabilities, right? To figure out where in the stack pop ret happens so that you know how to put your shellcode in, right? Like that is miles away compared to where we are now. That is miles away from Expo being able to do web application stuff, right? And make no mistake, I'm not shitting on AI's capability to do this at some point in time in the future. What I'm saying is that the distance between the markety clickbait and reality is so far. I mean, it is light years from where it could be, right? And so I appreciate I appreciate that there's a lot of talk around AI assisting, but understand when you see AI today, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that AI is a work enabler for things that it knows about. Things that it knows about. Yeah, there is an AI assistance for reverse engineering. There's an MCP server for Ghidra, right? If you're familiar with the NSA Ghidra open source tool to help with reverse engineering malware, there's an MCP server for that. That's amazing. It is actually super helpful to do that, right? So I absolutely 100% eCurve, 1000%, agree with that, right? But to think that we're in a spot today, right, where AI is generating malware from nothing or finding, vulnerabilities in the ethosphere that have never existed and know nothing about that, we're miles away from that. We're miles away from that. Cyber Ties. Thank you so much. Put that on the screen. This, right? I've said it before. I said it during the breach and attack simulator days. I'm going to say it now with AI. This is definitively the future. This is definitively the future. I'll tell you, I'm building some of this on my own right now, and it is 100% doable. Listen, you can say all you want, but Neal, Hacker Mindset, Neal, blah, 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 blah. If you guys are truly honest with yourself, if you're top 1% on Try Hack Me, if you've done hours and hours and hours of Hack the Box, right? You know that a large portion of pen testing is pretty monotonous. It's pretty much the same thing over and over and over and over again. Right? I'm not talking about niche jobs, E-Curve, right? I'm talking about the entry-level person who comes in for a pen test to learn pen testing and gets tasked with run this Nmap scan, run this Nessus scan, right? Right. Find version, check exploit DB, right? Oh, is there a module that exists inside of Metasploit? For those of you who have used Metasploit, right? Does this exploit exist? Oh, it does. Fill in R host, fill in L host, pick your payload, exploit. Did it work or did it not? Right? Let's be honest. Responder, like there's no magic in responder. AI phishing isn't magic, right? And so if you're really honest with yourself, when you really think about pen testing and AI, it is very, very doable. Very doable. And it should scare you if you're still on the fence about like, no, AI will never take pen testing jobs. AI will never take pen testing jobs. Now, E-Curve's right. There are niche, there embedded systems, IoT, right? I think AI could be considered a little bit embedded now, right? There's some niche stuff, and there's definitely exploit dev, right? There's definitely exploit dev. I think all of those things are still relatively safe, right? But I'm telling you, and this is totally fair, right? Who remembers the Cynic Neal days where ooh AI was gospel? You're 100% right. You are 100% right. And this is why I tell you guys, I was this way until I was forced. My hand was forced, and I had to build it. Right? I had to build it. Hashtag startup life. You know, we needed to build some AI capabilities. We're a small team. Right? So I got thrown in the R&D side and had to start writing agents and had to start doing prompting and building models. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. How long do you think it'll take for AI pen test to be able to provide attestation? Listen, no current attestation documentation mandates specific quality checks, is probably the best way to put it, for pen testing. This is why we have people who are selling vulnerability scans as pen test, and those things are hitting the check boxes for SOC 2, for ISO 27001, for PCI DSS. Right? That's been happening for years. I think you could realistically make an engine based on everything we know about pen testing in the space today that does a version of a pen test 100% automated that you could unequivocally sell as the credit card swipe version. Here you go. Somebody who is generally interested, take this idea. Take this idea. All I ask is that you credit me for it when you're a bajillionaire. Make you a web front end that uses AI to run a level 1 maturity pen test. 100% AI automation workflow driven, and spit out a report that an enterprise can go swipe a credit card. It's not a new idea. It's not a new idea. It has existed in smaller versions of this. It's existed in smaller versions of this, but somebody who's willing to put their face out there and say, I could do 100% AI-driven pen testing for any enterprise in the entire world to meet any compliance requirement out there, simply put your credit card in here. Nobody's willing to do that. Right? I don't think we're far off from that. I don't think we're far off from that at all. Actually, Sonic, I think the hardest part of that would actually be the insurance, right? Or the legal fees, right? Or the legal fees. The liability on that, like you would have to have indemnification out the ass. One of the biggest pains in the ass that I have whenever I do any type of engagement like that is the legal paperwork. Yeah. Beardseck's got a good point. Like, so if we take a little bit more pragmatic approach to AI, right? If we take a little bit of a more pragmatic approach to AI, there is obviously a lot of talk of AI bubbles. There is a lot of talk of AI bubbles. I want to talk a little bit. We got everybody who's come in from across the internet sphere, across all the platforms. We're going to talk a little bit about the job stuff because I do have some job stuff that I want to update people on, and I think this is a good time to kind of like segue into this as we talk a little bit about AI and the space. Let's talk about AI. Oh, actually, oh God, rabbit, shit. Real quick, on the pen testing side, before I go into the data center side, I did take, during my usual intel gathering and prepping for the show, right? If you're tuned into a lot of the GRC stuff on LinkedIn, the same thing that we're talking about with AI pen testing is already happening in the GRC space. That's why I think it is completely valid that we will see this happen in the pen testing space, right? We have compliance companies, and I'm not going to rat the company out on stream. I thought about it. The screenshot has sat here with me for a while, but I'm not going to rat the company out. There are people running sponsored ads on Google and LinkedIn saying, get your SOC 2 compliance in 15 hours. Right? And for those who have done any level of compliance work, that's got to be like a giant kick in the shins when you realize that it is nigh impossible to get a proper SOC 2 report in 15 hours. But this is what people are touting now, that AI, one tool for SOC 2 compliance, the SOC 2 automation platform, book a demo now. Automate SOC 2 compliance with powerful AI native automation. Trusted by 500 plus companies. Right? That's one of them. There was another one that I took a screenshot of that's in the similar vein. Let me find it really fast. Right, here we go. This one was from a CEO of another company that says, if someone tells you they can do SOC 2 for you in hours or weeks, they're not giving you the full story. Compliance programs take time and energy. When your customers or partners ask for SOC 2, they're not asking you to check a box. They're asking whether you're building something secure and trustworthy. Right, and then it goes on to tout the very high and mighty ways in which SOC 2 is awesome. Right? You don't need shortcuts or cookie cutter controls. You need a compliance program that addresses your risks. That means building customized controls, which is nothing to be afraid of. With the right tool, you can have both automation and customization. Anything less, blah, 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 blah. Right? But that, I will tell you that that is going to fall on deaf ears. Right? The art argument, and I see this, I've seen this for decades in the pen testing space. I've seen this for decades in the pen testing space. Oh, but there's more to pen testing than just running Nmap scans and looking for exploits. There's an art to it, right? Let me tell you, the business world doesn't care about your art of pen testing. It doesn't care about your art of GRC. A startup doesn't care that the right GRC program is 15 weeks. You know what it hears when it hears that it can get SOC 2 in 15 weeks? That's 15 weeks before I can sell to an enterprise customer. Versus somebody who says I can sell to you in 15 hours, or I can get you selling to an enterprise customer in 15 hours. If you're truly honest with yourself, there is only one answer that wins that conversation. And it's the SOC 2 in 15 hours. Right? Right? So I hear you. I hear you. But this is the messaging that's going to win the space. And that messaging, right? That messaging is going to transcend into every aspect. I'm not saying whether it's an AI answer or not. That message will transcend into SOC 2. That message will transcend into pen testing. That message will transcend into vulnerability management. That message will transcend into SOC. That message will transcend across all of cybersecurity space, is that AI can get us there faster. Right? AI can get us there faster. Part of my fervor, if you will, for sharing my AI conviction with you on stream isn't about a love relationship with AI as much as Beard gives me shit for it. My mantra on this show has always been to talk about the way that I view cybersecurity in a hope that I could pass that on to everybody and they could develop their own views and be better than me in cybersecurity as it comes up. So to that end, I talk about AI. I encourage you to get involved in AI. I encourage you to understand AI, not so that you can go make $1 billion startup company, but if you decide to, go for it, have at it. But it's that comment that Dosco made right there, right? The only people who care about security are security people. I want you to care about AI. Because if you care about AI, then you care about the security of AI. You care about whether AI is going to do a good pen test, whether AI is going to do a good SOC 2, whether AI is going to do good anywhere. My vision for this show, and please share this out with folks who are new here, right? My vision for the show has always been, take these learnings that I have and go out and do something awesome with it, right? Go understand AI so that you can secure AI. Go understand AI so you can secure prompts, so you can secure MCP, so you can push for change in those technologies, so that when you're sitting, Sonic, in a position of leadership, and this company that claims that they can do a SOC 2 in 15 hours comes and gives you that sales pitch, Sonic as the consumer, right? You can say that's bullshit. That's not real. That to me is where we're going to see the biggest change. And this is the reason why I preach upon you, is because I want you to go be the groundswell that changes all the hype. You are not going to stop the hype train. You are not going to stop the hype train. period. But what you can do is you can start in your organizations and you can start to build secure AI practices. You can start to call bullshit on vendors who bring you AI solutions, right? You can do that inside of your organizations. And that's what I want you to do. That's why I want you to be smart on AI, is so that when somebody comes to you and hopes that you're ignorant on AI and says that they can get SOC 2 to you in 15 hours because of their magic AI bullet, you could be like, that's bullshit. Right? With that being said, Beard is 100% right. I definitely see, so remember, I'm going to date myself here. I lived through the dot-com bubble. I lived through the dot-com bubble in the 2000s. This feels bubbly. Giggity. This feels bubbly. There are lots of similarities between what I'm seeing now and what I saw in the dot-com bubble. This is always the right question, isn't it, E-Curve? Right? Do I think that bubble will blow? If I knew, I'd be a bajillionaire. I don't know. I think it's like any bubble, right? It's either going to be really, really good for all of us, or it's going to pop. Right? There's a lot of things, again, like this is why I encourage you guys to understand the business side, right? This is why I encourage you guys to understand the business side, right? The dot-com bubble busted, right? And we're still here living the life of the benefactors of everybody who made it through the dot-com bubble. Right? So this isn't saying don't embrace AI because there is a bubble, but recognize that 50 to 75% of what you see in AI today will look vastly different post-bubble. Right? Post-bubble. Most of the startups that you see that are nothing more than ChatGPT wrappers will go away. Right? People who are rushing to get, like, when you see the amount of VC money that's being poured into AI companies that have no tangible product, that's a bubble. Right? That stuff is not going to sustain the test of time. These vibe-coded apps may make somebody a millionaire in the short term, won't last, won't make the bubble. Won't make the bubble. Right? Yeah, exactly. I was subtly leading that, Dosco, right? NVIDIA loaning money to AI companies to then buy graphics cards is bubble activity. And so this kind of gets to like what Bierzek was saying, right? Is if you want the less glamorous side of AI, but you want to secure yourself against the AI future of the bubble, like the data center space is an amazing space to be in. Right? The data center space is an amazing space to be in. One of the things that has to happen is they have to continue to build data centers. They continue to have to build compute to support the bubble of AI. Compared to now versus .com, would the better tech and chips make is slightly more durable now? You know, the technology is better. The technology is better now that, like, I don't necessarily think that what we're seeing from a bubble perspective is that the chips that NVIDIA making aren't worth it. What I think is exactly what Dosco said. OpenAI needs compute for its brain. Right? It has to buy that compute from companies like NVIDIA. NVIDIA needs money to keep up with graphics card productions. Oracle needs to build a data center. And so now you've got this like self-eating ice cream cone, right? Where Oracle gets money from OpenAI, Oracle pays NVIDIA, and NVIDIA lends money back out. Right? And so now you've got a large chunk of the AI business space that is now codependent on OpenAI, Oracle, and NVIDIA being successful. And what happened, like you guys remember how much the NVIDIA stock tanked during the DeepSeek fiasco? Regardless of what your thoughts are on DeepSeek, watch how the market responded to the potential that there could be something else that would degrade the need for NVIDIA stock or NVIDIA graphics cards because they made AI suddenly more efficient to not need the massive amount of GPUs that it has now. And NVIDIA stock plummets. And then if NVIDIA stock plummets, Oracle stocks plummet. And now you're wiping trillions and trillions of dollars out of the marketplace. That's how bubbles happen. That's how bubbles happen. Right? Speaking of Oracle, rabbit hole slightly, but since I invoked Oracle, really quick, Oracle's now doing the same thing AWS did decades ago, which is offering free tier access to Oracle Cloud. We actually talked on this stream. This was years ago when Oracle Cloud released their OCI certs completely and totally for free for you to go be certified in Oracle Cloud Institute. I remember explicitly making a joke, right? Like, hey, go get this cert. I have no idea when you're ever going to need it, right? Because nobody uses Oracle. I said that at the time, right? Now that TikTok has been procured or has largely been owned and operated by US-based entities, almost all their infrastructure is being hosted on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and Oracle specifically owns a stake in TikTok. I think that you're now going to see a reemergence of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure being a top competitor to Azure, AWS, and GCP. So go sign up for Oracle free tier. Go learn Oracle infrastructure. I'm not here to tell you that Oracle is going to be awesome, but you know me, do the free stuff first. You got access to free infrastructure? Go learn by getting your hands on free infrastructure. Let's talk jobs. I see there is a question in the other platform from Kathir about jobs. I will answer that question here soon, but I want to talk explicitly about jobs really fast. This is obviously going to be the potential for a soapbox. We'll see how it goes. Let's talk a little bit about jobs. I'm trying to see which one I want to do first. So, first and foremost, does Oracle still have their free training? Hell yeah. Thank you, Chris. Go get free training from Oracle right now. Go get free training from Oracle. It's easy. Free training. Free training. Speaking of, hey, Beard, can you start a giveaway? I love you long time. No. Let's give away eCurve saying hack the box. I could give away some hack the box. Let's run a poll for hack the box or try hack me. You got to run a poll for hack the box or try hack me on two platforms, mind you. We're going to do a giveaway. Let's make sure everybody's in Discord. We're going to do a giveaway. I've been meaning to do this. I meant to do this week and I didn't get to do it. I want to give a huge thanks to everybody who has subscribed, gifted, bits, whatever. We got our Twitch payout. It was a whopping $200. Not complaining about that, but my promise always is that we will take whatever money we earn on this stream and we will turn it right back around and give it over to the community. So we're going to take that money, we're going to buy some certs, and we're going to go and do the giveaway. So we're going to run a poll now. Whatever wins, we're going to take that money, we're going to go buy some giveaways, and we're going to give it away to the community. So we ask you to encourage the poll. What do you want to see your money go to? Right? What do you want your money to go to? Whether it's Hack the Box or Try Hack Me. We'll run the giveaway now. So this is how lending works, right? I'm going to run the giveaway now, even though I haven't bought the vouchers yet. We'll run the giveaway. We'll pick, I don't know, you do 10 or 5? I don't even know. Let's do 10. Fuck it, let's do 10. It's right there at the top. It says poll at the top. I gotta do that shit. YouTube does suck. See, there you go, Twitch. I did say YouTube sucks. Start a poll. Oh, you don't have that option? Wow, really? Wow. All right, well, here, because YouTube sucks. All right, there we go. Poll started on YouTube. Let's give 10 away. We'll give 10 away. I don't care what the cost is. I'll front the cost for whatever is over what we got. What? People can hear me. I could put gibberish. You know what? I'm going to give 10 away. I don't care how much it costs. I would give 10 away. All right? We're going to give 10 away. Do a giveaway for 10. Do a giveaway for 10. There's a giveaway that's going to run in Discord. Get in Discord right now and go get the giveaway. I don't care how much it costs. We're going to do it. Okay? We're just going to do it. We're going to give away 10 of something. Whether it's Hack the Box or Try Hack Me, we'll give away 10 of something. Back to what I was talking about before. Welcome to my TED Talk, everybody. This is how you run a stream right here. Yeah, I need more coffee for this. I still have some. Okay. So I'm all the time telling you guys, I'm all the time encouraging you to watch the news. And this isn't about CNN versus Fox News. We don't do that here, right? If anything, I'm just asking you to watch business news, to pay more attention to the business stuff that's going out there. This week specifically, the ADP jobs report for September came out. I've talked about this before on stream. ADP processes payroll for millions of companies. So they see a lot of job-related metrics that come in through ADP because they are the largest payroll processor that exists out there. And so every month they produce their ADP employment report that talks about new jobs, turnover, things like that. Right? So this week, and I'm going to read you the quote from the ADP report. Very disappointing. Private sector jobs for September comes in at minus 32,000. Economists were looking for an increase of 51,000. August was also revised down sharply, showing that August was down 3,000 compared to the initial read of plus 54,000. Yes, eCurve, this is only for the U.S., and this is across the entire economy, this is not solely exclusive to cyber, but it is a wind vane. It is a wind vane for the state of the job market currently. ADP jobs report. Right? Yep, sounds like a difference of about 70K. 70K less workers in 2 months. When we talk about some of the challenges around hiring, I oftentimes share this data with you, not to be Debbie Downer, but when we talk about when you're struggling to find a job, like my goal in sharing this with you is that you need to understand that listen, it's not always you. It's not about what cert you have. It's not about what cert you don't have. It is hard. It is hard to find a job, and with job numbers like this, it is going to get harder. This is not dependent on AI. This is the state of the economy, right? This is not a referendum on AI. This is not a referendum on cyber, any of that. This is the state of the economy as it stands now, right? So that's why I share that with you. And to get more narrowly focused on AI, this is kind of the one that I was dying to share with you this morning. I've got an audio that I'm going to share. This is from the Accenture CEO. Listen up. Pay attention. Take 5 seconds to listen to this really quick from the Accenture CEO.
When you think about the workforce, think about it in 3 things that you have to do. You have to upskill the people that you have, right? Give them the skills. That's why everybody's being trained in agentic AI in the same way everyone was trained with Gen AI. You have to do a talent rotation. There are some people that won't make the journey, right? You have a mismatch in skills and you're not able to train, everyone. And then you also will have efficiencies. So if you keep that framework in upskilling, talent rotation, and efficiencies, that really kind of answers the workforce strategy that not only Accenture has, but all companies need to have.
So, what'd you hear there? The Accenture CEO talking about their talent strategy. Accenture is a consulting company similar to PwC, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, right? They're one of the largest IT tech consulting companies that exist. They are arguably one of the leaders when it comes to setting the standard. And this comes on the heels of Accenture laying off 11,000 employees. Accenture laying off 11,000 employees. And they are exiting employees, you heard it from Julie's mouth, who cannot reskill for AI. That's explicit what she's talking about. Listen to what she says. Thank you, Chris. Put it in chat, right? Upskill the people we have. She is explicitly saying that they want to train people on AI, but if you cannot be trained on AI, time to rotate you out because you have a mismatched skill. So this is what we talked about months ago on the stream, is that AI may not replace your job. AI may not replace your job, but if you can't learn AI and if you can't learn to use AI, companies will replace you with people who do. 11,000 more Accenture employees hit the unemployment lines because they could not be reskilled for AI. I applaud all the no AI memes in chat. I get it. I really do. I appreciate you. It is inevitable. It is an inevitability, especially in our world of tech. In our world of tech, it is here. If you can't beat them, join them. That's right, Maz. That's right. Evolve. Listen, and again, I'm not here that says that you got to go, embrace the AI gods and find a new deity in Sam Altman and Elon Musk and XAI and OpenAI. I'm not here to say that at all by any stretch of the imagination, right? We talk to a lot of folks across the board on this stream, right? We talk to, newcomers. We talk to experienced cybersecurity professionals. We talk to everybody in between on this stream, right? Arguably, the biggest voice that we hear on this stream are from the people who are trying to get into the industry, right? And so I share all this. You know, if you're long tail in the industry, you probably have already seen this. You're probably already adapting and moving in this direction. But if you're new in this industry, this can be hard. This can be a hard pivot. This could be hard that you've had this picture in your head of what cyber is and how to get into there. For years, for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the case is, and now you're being told that like the industry is going to pivot hard on you. That's exactly what we want to share with you on this stream, is that we're trying to give you leading indicators that if you don't make the moves that you need to make now, there is a high likelihood that you could potentially get left behind. And I don't want to see anybody get left behind. 10 seconds left on the giveaway inside of Twitch. Get those giveaway numbers in. Poll, sorry, thank you. Poll, not giveaway. The giveaway will run in Discord. I'm just going to give away 10. I don't care how much it costs. We're just going to give away 10. So head on over to Discord. And the YouTube one says Hack the Box too. So it looks like Hack the Box is the winner across the board. Let's make it in. What's today? Friday? Is it still Friday today? I wasn't sure. We'll give it Wednesday. That way we can remind everybody on the threat brief on Monday. We'll make it end on Wednesday. That way people, 5 p.m. on Wednesday, we're going to end the giveaway. That way if you see the VOD, if Jens puts this up on YouTube, whatever the case is, you've got till Wednesday at 5 p.m. to get in for a Hack the Box giveaway. Listen, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody who contributed to this. We do this every month. As the Twitch payouts come, as the YouTube payouts come, we'll turn right around. We'll buy training. We'll give it to everybody out there as well. What does Hack the Box do? I don't even know what Hack the Box does. Does Hack the Box do 1 month? I guess you'll look that up. Do your fucking job. We really need to get the behind the tee up and running. Yeah, so that's going to go down. So beginners entering the industry should definitely learn how to do skills that the AI powered tools can do by themselves right now, or would you suggest something else, doing both simultaneously? I think that you have to, you still have to, like, eCurve's a huge proponent of this and I love it, right? Learn how shit works, right? Learn how shit works. Don't rely on AI. John Rao was hanging out on my stream. John, it's good to see you, buddy. Don't rely on AI as a gap, as a knowledge replacement, right? Learn how shit works, right? I think the biggest way that you can make AI beneficial to you as a learner today is to ask yourself in parallel as you learn stuff, what would it look like to have AI help me accomplish this mission? I wrote a vulnerability agent last week while I was in Florida, right? What I started with my vulnerability management task, and then I said, where can I have AI help me be better in doing this smarter, faster, better? And I took that apart and implemented AI in those places where I thought it was doing so. Right? That's what I think everybody can do today. You all have learned something in your cyber travels. Whether you're just starting out, whether your experience, all of you have learned 1 is greater than 0 in your cyber travels. Right? And so ask yourself, where can AI be used to help make that execution of that task faster, better, smarter? Right? Just like we talked about with the bug bounty stuff with Expo. It's not finding new cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. It's not finding new SQL injection vulnerabilities. It's taking what already exists out there, and it's just running the permutations faster to find them more frequently. That's all it's doing. And so, what? Oh, okay. Find ways to make it more efficient. Find ways to use the AI. That's the biggest thing that I see that you can do today, is to find ways to leverage AI to do better. Yeah, exactly what eCurve said. Like I think if you're looking for a singular sentence on how to use AI to yeah, 100%, right? This is it. This should be everybody's mantra on AI and cyber today. It's about increasing productivity, not about letting it think for you. Right? If you look at AI and today's instantiation of AI as a productivity force multiplier, that's all the CEO of Accenture is talking about. Right? That's all the CEO of Accenture is talking about, is just be more productive, find more efficiencies. Right? I'm advising a CEO, right? I'm advising a CEO and trying to help him strategically think around agentic AI. And we're talking on the topic of threat hunting. And I said, how many threat hunts does your threat hunter do a week now? And he scoffed and said, you know, I'd be lucky if they do 4 hours of threat hunting in a week. And I said, so if they did 8 hours of threat hunting in a week through agentic AI, that would be a force multiplier for you. And he says, yeah, that's literally like 2x the number of threat hunts I could do in a week if I could have an agentic AI that did threat hunts for me in the week. It's not about replacing your threat hunter. It's about getting 2 for 1. It's about efficiencies in the process, right? That's what people are looking for. Listen, for all we've talked about on this stream over the years, right? The thing that all of you have ever complained about, especially those who are in the industries, you don't have enough people. God, I wish I had more people in my SOC. God, I wish I had more people doing vulnerability management. God, I wish I had more IT people to do patching. You've all talked about, if you've been in the trenches, you wish leadership would just give you money for more people. AI is your answer to more people. You may not like that answer, and that's okay. I'm not asking you to like that answer. But the way the world has evolved around us, is that AI is the answer to more people. There's no But if efficiency through AI shows progress, where does the line get drawn? Does it just become agent, engineer, security, or is it a one-person department? Here's my prediction. I don't think all right, this is going to be a hot take. This is going to be a hot take. No, I know you're not trying to be doom and gloom. I don't think this is doom and gloom by any stretch of the imagination. My prediction is, and Sonic, you and I have talked before. You've done mentoring sessions with me, so I'm going to use you, as an example. I trust we're close enough acquaintances where you understand that I'm just since we're talking to each other, together. I know you have aspirations of leadership, and you're very well on your track to doing so. I've talked to you. You're a brilliant individual. I definitely think that you have the potential there to do it, right? Imagine yourself in charge of a SOC, and you've got 10 people that you manage for your SOC team, right? But you know that you don't have 100% coverage of all your alerting. You know you don't have 100% coverage of all the threat hunts you could be doing. You know that your vulnerability analysts are dying as they try to run down vulnerabilities, as they try to run down IT. You see the challenges that a leader sees on their team because they just don't have enough people to do it. And if any of my leaders who are out there who have been sitting in this seat, your people are coming to you and saying, I have no more blood to give. You can't squeeze any more hours out of the day. I'm dying here. You've got to help me. It's one of the worst feelings as a leader to have because it costs you $200,000, $300,000, right? To go to leadership and ask for a head count. And you know that you need 10 to even compensate for the level of work that you've got. But what if you could give your junior level SOC analyst 10 agents that junior level SOC analyst could manage that would alleviate its workload? Look at them as robots, the same way the manufacturing line looks at robots on a manufacturing line. You can give a junior analyst 10 more people to take the workload off. You can give a vulnerability analyst 10 agents to take the workload off. Right? I believe as people leaders, you're going to be leading humans and robots in your stack, in your people stack. No more than having a burnt out analyst is a point of failure. Could you imagine? Have you thought about how big of a point of failure it could be to have a burnt out analyst watching alarms? Yeah. Couldn't your SIM be considered a point of failure? Couldn't your EDR be considered a point of failure? How about your lack of an SBOM, your lack of a CMDB, your vulnerability management? It's no different than any other single point of failure that exists inside the security organization. Right? So I have a fundamental belief that we're marching towards a world where, when I talk about raising the skill floor, like one of the common ones that we see on this show is like, well, Neal, what are we supposed to do about entry-level positions? Right? If AI is going to replace the tier 1 analyst, where does the people coming into cybersecurity go? Well, this isn't about replacing tier 1 analyst, right? This isn't about replacing tier 1 analyst and telling those people they're out of work, right? What I'm talking about, see, I knew someone was going to say it, right? It's not GGs for entry-level positions. Could you imagine an entry-level position, an entry-level SOC analyst who still knows everything that they had to learn in college or search or whatever the case is for SOC analysts, but instead of watching alerts, instead of simply watching alerts, you jump right into a people leader position where you're managing AI agents and learning from agents that have already been programmed on how to do SOC work. Right? Think about that for a second. Most of you are used to coming into the workforce being an individual contributor, meaning you're watching alerts, you're trying to do triage, you're trying to learn how to do triage. And what if you learn wrong? Right? What if you, listen, let's take a step back, right? Have an existential crisis and look at the world from 35,000 feet. If you're a SOC analyst, you come out of college, right, into a large organization like Accenture to sit on their SOC floor to do triage. You hope that there's a senior person that has the free time to train you, right? You hope that you're getting on the job training. At best, you might get thrown and said, here's some processes and some procedures, and here's a wiki page, go figure it out. And you have to do a SOC analyst work for an enterprise, right? You have to do that work being brand new with no training, with no guidance, because everybody is underwater. But what if there's already 10 agents that have been vetted? Some jackwagon didn't build them with vibe-coded Claude, right? Let's assume positive intent, and let's assume that these are agents that have been tried, tested, validated, and proven to do something as simple as gather triage information to help validate false positives. The very simplest form of agentic AI work. Now, your underwater analyst isn't underwater because they've got somebody helping them out. They can see what the right way to triage incidents is by watching how the AI workflow works. And the senior people above them now have extra cycles to train them. Now, your entry-level positions have graduated up to being people managers of AI agents. That's what I see as the future of AI in the security org. That's what I see as the future of entry-level jobs, is that you're going to be expected, Sonic, that you may have 10 humans that you manage, but you may have 10 humans and 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 robots that you manage as well. I fully believe that. I'm living this. I'll tell you a testimony. I'm living this at Query, right? I'm building a vulnerability management agent that will help surface vulnerabilities for me at Query so that I don't have to hire a vulnerability analyst. And that's not because I'm cheap, and that's not because like I don't want to hire people. It's because I work at a startup, right? You know where startup money has to go? We got to go towards engineering. We got to go towards sales. We got to go towards marketing. I'm not naive. I know that. But that doesn't change the fact that I still have a job to do. And so I'm going to hire me a vulnerability management agent that helps me do vulnerability management. What do? Quit the job? Bitch and complain to Matt? Talk about how unfair it is? That's not how the business world works. Right? A little bit of a rant there. I'm excited for this. How will all these changes affect what schools teach students? I think schools are fucking useless. That's a different rant. Right? I think AI is changing education too. Right? I think AI is changing education. I don't think education is ready to be changed. Yeah, agree, E-Curve. Agree. Schools aren't useless if done correctly. Absolutely. My disdain for schools is that largely based on my experience, I have rarely seen education done correctly. E-Curve and I talk extensively about learning and tactics and methodologies for learning. You know, yeah, schools in the U.S. aren't done correctly, and that's my largest flaw with them, is that we suck at schooling in the U.S., right? Right? Like, we have bastardized the school system in the U.S. so bad. Hey, Fix It! I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better. With that being said, if I put the cynical side of my school comment away for a second, right? I do think that I think what needs to happen in schooling, right? I think what needs to happen in schooling is we still need to teach the fundamentals, right? We don't do a really good job of teaching in cyber and in IT the why and the how things are built. Right? The why and the how things are built. I think we need to do more of that. I think AI is going to make a lot more lazy education. Like, I think AI is a fantastic educator. I think AI is a fantastic educator. But I think AI is going to absolutely destroy the process of critical thinking. And I do agree. I'm glad that doctors, surgeons, engineers, I'm glad they all went to college. Absolutely. And if we had licensed requirements in cybersecurity or IT, I'd be all for college to create licensed requirements. But instead, everybody's just chased the money in cybersecurity, including the colleges. Right? Including the colleges. Right? And so, like, I think that the challenge that we've had is nobody licenses some of these critical job roles, like cyber, the same way they do doctors, lawyers, accountants, surgeons, etc. Right? I think that's part of the problem. Sonic, I don't think that that's a hot take at all. The job, most of you probably don't remember. I say that it still exists a little bit in some of the science and the research work, right? Tenured professor, right? Tenured professor used to be one of the greatest jobs that people aspire to be, right? You go through college, you get a doctorate or master's or whatever the case is. You go out into the workforce and you get 10, 20, 30 years worth of experience. And then you come back to university and you become a tenured professor, right, for that university and train the up and coming folks. That used to be the cycle that was largely accepted. I think the first sign of what Sonic is talking about here on the screen is where you've got people teaching cyber programs who haven't spent a day in cyber. They spent 20 years in IT, but they haven't spent a day in cyber. I've talked about this before, right? I have no degree. I don't have a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. I don't have anything like that. You know what they would... You know that if I went to WGU or University of Maryland or insert college here and said, hey, I want to go get my master or I want to go get my bachelor's in cybersecurity, me, at my age, with my background, with my skill set, you know what they'd have me take? A+, Net+, Sec+, right? Is that really what I need to get a bachelor's in cybersecurity with my background? right? And that goes the same for any of you. Like, that's why I think that, like, there is some truth to this that Sonic says. There is this prestige that says, oh, you have to have a 4-year degree to be useful in the industry. It's all gatekeeping. It's all gatekeeping. It's one of the things, it's one of the reasons I fucking hate it, right? Like, when I've audited so many college programs, and it doesn't actually teach you cyber. Like, if you call thank you, Chris, SNHU's Master in Cyber has Net Plus as the second course. That's a master's in cyber? You're telling me that they didn't get Net Plus anywhere else in the curriculum? And so as a master's requirement, you have to teach Net Plus? Think about that. How much credit would you give to a master's program? A master's program if the course that they teach is Net Plus? We've bastardized education in the US around cyber, and I hate it. I absolutely despise it. A lot of you have asked, right? Like I would go back to college if I truly thought I would actually get anything out of it. If I thought I could learn something at my age, at my place in my career, where it would be beneficial to my career. If somebody said, "Hey Neal, we've looked at your life from the time you graduated high school in 97 to today. We've looked at your entire life experiences, and we're willing to give you a PhD in cybersecurity, and here's the plan to do so," I'd go back to school for that, right? I'd go back to school for that because there would be merit behind taking my life experiences to give me a PhD. But for me to say, I want to go get a PhD, so therefore I've got to go take Net Plus again, and then if Chris is right, and I got to go take Net Plus again as part of my master's program, and then I have to write a thesis paper, right, on the merits of risk management framework in a modern day enterprise, no, that's just absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Back to the AI talk. AI will need its own security monitoring platform like a SIM, but built for models and pipelines? Maybe, potentially. Right? This is definitely a hot take. Definitely a hot take. AI might be a little similar to communist style of education. Again, no politics in chat. We're not here to debate politics. I appreciate the reference, but we're not here to debate politics, right? AI might be a little different, might be a little similar to the communist way of education, where each student was successful based on the accuracy they could memorize the information. No criticism was allowed, so form this point of view. AI as a teacher might have the same influence on human creativity. I see this AI new era as an effort against human creativity and creativity. I don't think that it's a movement against human creativity and critical thinking. Remember, AI has simply been trained on everything humans have already done. Right? That's why there's a push for AGI. Right? That's why there's a push for AI to create something net new. Is so that we can have discoveries that we currently don't have. I see that as I see that as a net good for humanity. I think AI is a tool just like any other tool. That's one of those moments where I bet you guys wish you could hear what Brian just said in my ear. AI is a tool just like any other tool. Lazy people will use the tool to be lazy, and smart people will use the tool to be smarter. No different than a hammer. No different than anything. Right? Lazy people will continue to use the tool to be lazy. Smart people will continue to use the tool to be efficient. Which side of the fence are you on? E-Curve, send that over to Beard. Beard will post it. Viking Defender says, question. So I guess I'm curious on how you see human SOC analysts managing AI agents. AI agents won't need PTO or sick days or performance reviews. I wouldn't need to send them to a conference to learn. What part of the management process does apply? Overseeing work efficiency, right? You still have metrics on an AI agent, right? How many alerts did you process in a day? Of those alerts that you processed, how accurate were you in the processing of those alerts? Right? Hey, this agent has got a high false positive rate. Can we tweak the prompt? Can we add some more to the vector database, more knowledge to the vector database to make it smarter? This new TTP came out. Here's an excellent white paper. We need to educate our agents on it. There is still a lot of management. There is still a lot of actual really good people managing the AI agents. I encourage you to go build an agent. And you can do it with N8N. You can do it with a Python framework like Agno or AutoGen or Pydantic. Right? You can do it. You can be as developer-y or not developer-y as you want. There is still a lot of training. There is still a lot of training and a lot of metrics that can be done on AI agents. I think what you actually end up teaching people at the entry level, right? I think what you actually end up teaching people is a lot of management skills. A lot more management skills than they get today in this future. Right? CompTIA has the security AI beta. Thoughts on it? Burn it to the ground. Nobody. There are no AI certs. This is a fucking money grab. I despise it. If there is a... No. I need a meme for this. If somebody comes to you and says that they have AI content, pay them $9.99, run. No. The amount of hate that I have. This is fucking snake oil money grabbers. I throw the coffee mug. Do not pay one of these shitty organizations for AI education. Don't do it. You can learn everything for free, and OpenAI has released free training. Anthropic has released free training. Google has released free training. Why would you pay CompTIA to regurgitate their own malformed interpretation that the industry hasn't even solidified itself on, when you can get it from the source for free? I tell you what, I'm going to start selling bottles of water. I'm sure everybody here drinks water. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to fill up a bunch of waters from the water in my sink, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to sell it to you. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. CompTIA is not qualified to teach AI security. God. Go get it from the source. Go get it from the source. It's free. build you an AI agent. Build you an AI agent that will look every single time Anthropic updates its training. Right? And then just go read Anthropic's documentation. It's easy. Boniface says, love that. Lazy people use tools to be lazy and smart people use tools to be smart. Thanks, Neal. Absolutely. Exactly. It's this all over again, right? I don't blame them for selling courses. I blame lazy people who don't feel like doing research, so they purchase the courses. Absolutely. Like I know I'm yelling against the wall. I know that there are people who will buy courses. I understand that. I really do. My fervor to you, right, is that take control of your money. If you need to buy a course, do what's right for you, but don't think that there's some magic secret sauce. Right? One of the things I think we've been lied to in this industry is that if I buy the cybersecurity AI course from CompTIA, I'll instantly be employable in this world. No, people are hiring builders. People are hiring builders. Right? Go build something. You'll find that you'll be much more employable in this space today, hiring builders, than throwing money at people who are still trying to figure it out. There are people, like I can guarantee you that whoever wrote this course at CompTIA is also trying to figure it out. Right? I see you, Callie. I knew that one was going to be a soapbox for sure on that one. Would you be open to dropping a solid starting point for learning AI towards the discussion we've been having in Discord? I didn't get much out of Google's AI Essentials on Coursera. Absolutely. I will take that. I will take that as a to-do. I will absolutely do that. Right? I'm going to take a picture of it so I don't forget. Otherwise, I'll forget. Cool. I will drop that. Be looking for that on Discord. Just plug for the Discord. We are doing the giveaway. We are doing a giveaway right now in Discord for some Hack the Box certs. No, E-Curve, I'm not touching a math cert. I take it that was going to be a joke from you, which I appreciate. I'm not the math dude. E-Curve is the math dude. Right? E-Curve's the math dude. Dude's literally doing research projects around math. Callie, I sent you a screenshot. I have N8N content that I'm in the process of uploading. I told you some of the challenges that I'm working through on getting it uploaded. I promise you we're going to get it uploaded. I do. So here's what I will say. I'll plug the GitHub. Did I do that? Did I do that one? Huh. I thought I had a command for that. I thought I added a command for that. I could have swore I added a command for that. Oh, it's in the socials. That's because it's in my socials. Yeah, there it is. The GitHub's in there. Yes, I'll be posting N8N content. I will be doing some N8N videos. So just in transparency, you know, I've got access to a lot of great lab environment stuff at Query, and I'm building a lot of capabilities for Query, both as I run security for Query, but also to try to help the business, right? I built them for Query, but I didn't sanitize them for consumption by the world. So I'm in the process of basically retooling some of my stuff that I built for Query to be more generic and sanitized to release to the public. I've got approval from Matt. We've talked about it. We're tightening up some version control stuff and whatnot internally to do that. But I now no longer have any limitations, you know, to be able to post that stuff up on my personal GitHub. So yes, I'm working through the same type of corporate needs that I would if I was at any big company, right, to do my due diligence. I'm literally about to take some work that I'm doing internally and post it up on personal GitHub. And so as you can imagine, that's not something that I just do willy-nilly, right, as a fiscally, you know, responsible person of the company, right? But yes, there will be more of that type of content. I've been kind of given authorization, if you will, to do more content that showcases AI type of work where I can leverage kind of the lab infrastructure that I've got at Query. That way I don't have to build net new lab infrastructure just to do content. And so there are motions in place, an active motion and even an active mandate from Matt to do more of that type of content. So that will definitely, transpire, as well. So kind of how I see that working out is I'm going to post some N8N stuff to GitHub. That's going to be kind of the start of it. I'm going to do, I want to do lots of different types of threat hunting content with AI automation. I want to build agents on stream with you guys. So a lot of that stuff. So I'm working through kind of like doing a lot of that baseline work to make sure that I can do that. What needs to be done for the giveaway? You need to be in Discord. Hop on over to Discord. Make sure you're in the giveaways channel and participate in the giveaway from the channel. Yeah, I know it's, listen, and listen, like, I want a huge shout out to Callie. Callie's known me for it's been 5 years, I think, like that we've known each other, Callie, since you joined the community a long time ago. He was an intern. He's been a huge contributor to the community from halfway across the globe. Like he's in South Korea, right? It's fucking nighttime for him, right? 4.5 years, right? 4.5 years. He's in South Korea, right? And it's nighttime for him over there. He's been amazing. He's been absolutely amazing. When you see him give me shit for N8N content and posting my own content, right? He does that out of love, and I appreciate that because he knows that, I'm having a little bit of imposter syndrome when it comes to posting my own content. Everybody has it. I've talked about having it numerous times before. I'm not immune to it. I have my own set of imposter syndrome. Getting my GitHub posted to my socials and posting some of the prompts that I use is one step of that. I plan on doing more of that. He rightfully, since I've been on this AI journey, he rightfully has been harping on me and hounding on me to post more and more of my AI content as education pieces. And so I have asked him to continue to do that. He reached out to me and he was like, hey, I hope you don't mind me doing that. And I was like, no, please keep me accountable. I encourage everybody. I am not above anybody in this community keeping me accountable on anything. If I say that I'm going to do something, I didn't do it, please. I've got ADHD. I've made no qualms about that. Chances are I've probably forgotten. And so I make no qualms. Keep me accountable. That's why I love Brian. Like, Brian and I give each other shit, but we keep each other accountable. Like, Brian has been single-handedly, the most accountable person that I've had on this stream for I don't know fucking how long, Brian. And he makes no qualms about calling me out for shit, and I appreciate it. Like, I'm not that type of person. And so like I will post more of it. I will get out of my own way, and post more of that content. And so I do appreciate that. Accountability is important in our line of work. Nobody is immune to accountability, and everybody should be receptive to being accountable. With the shutdown and you having NSA ties, how worried should we be from a cyber standpoint? Good question. Not really. Again, no politics in chat. I can tell you that the overarching umbrella and threat of a government shutdown doesn't stop work from happening. I went through several government shutdowns when I wore the uniform. Right? Government shutdowns aren't new. Right? I can remember one of my airmen during one of the government shutdowns asking me, does that mean we don't have to come into work? Asked me in front of the commander. I thought that commander was going to come out of his boots on that airman. No, that does not mean that you do not come into work. I can assure you, work has not stopped. Yeah, they back pay you, right? Work does not stop. Yeah. Work does not stop. That's right. I forgot ADHD's here. He works for the government, right? Like, that shit happened. That shit goes on, right? That shit goes on, right? So no, I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried if your primary concern is whether somebody's watching the borders in a government shutdown, the proverbial cyber borders. I'm not political, right? That shit happens. They're still working. Right? They are still working. All right, chat. Is there anything else in queue? Dosco, can you imagine salesmen trying to sell in front of this group? Anybody who I literally turned down sponsorships because I refuse to put salespeople in front of this group. Not that I don't like you guys and think that you guys would embarrass me. It's that don't think that we don't get sponsorship request. If Maz is in chat or Panzer, both guys are kind of like my battle buddies when I go talk to these people. One of the first conversations I have with anybody who wants to come and sponsor content on this stream is, I want you to understand something. You will never, ever have a salesperson or present a demo or have a sales engineer or any type of sales presentation on my channel whatsoever. And I can tell you the reason we don't have corporate sponsorships is because 90% of the people that I tell that to run the other way. It'll never happen. Right? Never happen. And it bothers people. People are like, but Neal, you have a channel. I want to pay you. Don't you want money? I love money. I love money like everybody else, but this stream isn't my livelihood. Right? I do this stream to give back to you all, to give back to the community. And so I don't need your paltry, money, just so you can use my audience to tell me how great your, EDR is or whatever the case is, right? It just doesn't work like that for me. My promise to you is that if you see them show up on this stream, is because they're bringing something valuable to you. Now, let's make no mistake about it, right? Jason comes on this stream and he provides valuable insights to the community. You all know he works for BitLift. If you all were interested in an MDR, I would like to believe that you would consider Jason just based on, you know, the sheer fact that you hear him speak in and out every day, right? And you would at least give him the time of day if it was a fit for you. He knows that, he understands that, and he's taking that chance. But he's taking that chance at the risk of giving valuable information back over to the community. That's the type of relationships that I bring into the stream, right? People who are going to give you information, right? People are going to give you information, and if you find that information valuable, then you will consider them a trusted resource to leverage as you so see fit. Exactly, Dosco. I'm not a streamer. Not a streamer. Right? That's probably why I don't have millions of views, right? It's because I'm not up here like, you know, hawking my Flipper Zero in your face, changing my nano lease with my Flipper Zero. Speaking of content, starting Monday, this coming Monday, remember, we're moving the cyber threat briefs to Monday at 9 a.m. Right? So every Monday, we've increased the frequency, number one. We've increased the frequency, number one. So now the threat briefs will be happening every Monday. We're also going to do them first thing in the morning, 9 a.m. Right? So the thought process behind that was you get me Friday, closing out the weekend with Tea with a Hacker. We're going to start off Monday with a threat brief with Jason, and we're going to talk about, you know, all threats, all things, you know, that we think are important to pay attention to from the week before or the week after, right? So starting Monday, Jason and I, weekly threat briefs, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, be here, be square, right? We'll go from that into co-working streams on Monday. We'll co-work on Monday. Co-work Monday, co-work Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll have a midweek check-in. Starting in November, you're going to have 2 streams on Wednesday, right? You'll have the new one that's coming up around social engineering, and then you'll have Brandon's Daily Cyber. Thursday, co-working, Friday, Tea with a Hacker, and then we roll into co-working after Tea with a Hacker. As a matter of fact, we're going to roll into co-working here soon, as I'm starting to see a lot of my Slack messages start to blow up here, right? And I do have a couple things I need to do before I get on the road to go to Virginia Beach for a tournament. So if you're over on not Twitch, I encourage you to come on over to Twitch as we transition to co-working. If you've not participated in a co-working stream, they have been phenomenal. They have been phenomenal. I want to thank everybody for supporting Brian. I want to thank everybody for supporting me as we do this co-working experiment. I want to thank Brian again for keeping me accountable and being my battle buddy as we do the co-working stuff. He's been huge for that. And so if you're not familiar with co-working is an ADHD coping mechanism where we all stay accountable together. There's a task list on the screen. We all thank you, Brian, for the co-working. It truly does help keep you accountable. There's the premise for the co-working stream. You can kind of see it. It was posted up on screen right now. But I mean, co-working stream, it's a body doubling session, right? Where I work, you work with us. We put a task list up on the screen. You can interact with the task list. Yeah, so like you can see there's a task list. It's not here, but I'll show the screen here in a little bit. And we do 60-minute working sessions and 15-minute breaks together, unless I get called in the middle of the day, in which case, you know, I end up working for 2 hours straight with no break. That happens. Not a shameless plug for BeardSec. BeardSec and I usually do them together. I've got a little window in this corner where BeardSec, you know, co-works with me, and I co-work with BeardSec on his stream. There's no competition. You tune into one, tune into both, tune into neither. We don't care. It's about keeping all of us accountable as a community, and so it's a community effort. You know, we've got people who tune into mine but listen to BeardSec's music. We've got people who tune into BeardSec but listen to my music. Like, you do whatever works for you to stay accountable, right? That's the goal, is that back to my accountability thing. We are all we are all accountable, right? I love this. This right here. This is why BeardSec and I love doing this, right? It is truly a community effort, right? For all of us to work together, right? That's what we are all about here on Cyber Insecurity. That's what we've been about for 5 years, is about raising all of us up together, right? And so encourage you to tune in, encourage you to participate, encourage you to stay accountable, encourage you to keep everybody around you accountable. With that being said, I'm not seeing anything in the here's one last question. We'll do this. Actually, there's 2 questions we could do. Personal for me right now, granted, not a new role whatsoever, but just reclass. But what's your take on detection engineer career path? Sorry if it's too broad. It's not too broad. I think detection engineering is super important, right? Most SOCs run on detections. Right? And so it is critically important. I'm working on some detection content. I posted a question in chat. I'll post it here if anybody wants to slam in some opinions on it. But I asked generally inside of Discord chat, what is your definition of a detection? As a newly reclassed detection engineer, I'd be curious on your definition of a detection. One of the things I'm working on from an AI perspective are better agentic detection capabilities. I think that there's a great opportunity for AI to redefine how we do detections. I do fundamentally believe that. And so, I think that there's a lot of opportunity in AI around the detection space to see a lot of innovation, to see a ton of innovation. No, I think detection engineering as a career path is awesome. Continue to learn. I think it's a nice balance between a threat researcher and a SOC analyst, right? You get to research new threats, and then you get to ask yourself, how do I make my team aware of those threats? And then you get to go put those into place in your organization. I wonder if we could turn the AI live stream builds into home labs or walkthroughs for learning and repetition to upskill for us newbies in the cyber and AI space. Absolutely, that's the goal. But you don't have to wait for me. There is tons of things that you can do today to self-learn on AI other than use ChatGPT, BeardSec, that do make things awesome. I agree with this. I think AI will change detections in cutting down on missed threats. I do fundamentally believe that. Oh, there's a lot of stuff I missed on one of the platforms in one of my rants. I think we can use AI to help create a learning path for anything. Google's Notebook LM is awesome. I agree. Google's Notebook LM is awesome. Buying courses without practices is a waste of money and time. I don't disagree with that at all. Vertex AI from Google. Any opinions? I don't think we're at a point where the difference between Vertex on Google, Bedrock on AWS, I think Oracle is using Grok for their logic, and Microsoft's using OpenAI. We're not there. If you've got access to it, go use it. I don't fundamentally have a problem with Vertex. I think Vertex is awesome. All right, cool. Well, we're going to transition to some co-working streams. If you're new to co-working, this is kind of what that looks like. Wow, that light's really terrible on that camera. You can kind of see, pay no attention to my World of Warcraft talent tree exercise over here. You don't see that going on over there at all. We'll go ahead and we will clear. Yep, there we go. Cool. All tasks have been cleared. We'll go ahead and set a timer for a quick break post stream. Everybody, again, encourage you to hang out for the co-working streams. If you're interested in tracking your task on stream, There's the task helper, so you can add the tasks to the list. You can use that to kind of help you stay focused. We'll turn the blinds up. We'll get to work here in a little bit. Let's put on some music. But before that, let me say thank you all so much for tuning in with me on this Friday. I truly appreciate, all of you hanging out with me on Friday, as always. I love you guys. You guys are the best community ever. If you're on a non-Twitch platform, I encourage you to come on over to Twitch and hang out with us on Twitch. I understand that may not be possible given some of your work conditions. That's fine. We'll send you guys along your way. Those of you on Twitch, thanks for hanging out. Whether you're on the red side or blue side or still deciding, remember to keep learning. Let's find some music and let's get to work.